Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Here we go with another week of the help and encouragement you need for your new life. I'm your host, Brian Perez, joined in studio by clinical psychologist Dr. Alice Benton and licensed marriage and family therapist Marc. I've got a new book coming out in 15 days. Cameron, we're going to be in the studio for 2 hours today at 1-800-229-3000. Yes, this book does come out December 2nd. It's called Understanding Your Attachment Style. You can pre-order it now on our website, newlife.com. Just type in Marc's name, Marc Cameron, and you'll be able to find it there. So if you struggle to get out of bed this morning because you're feeling anxious or uncertain about something facing you, please call in 1-800-229-3000. We're going to be here for 2 hours. Hope is just one call away. All right, Mr. New Book, what you got for us today?
Well, today I want to talk about relational repair and apologies. Now, let's be honest, we all blow it at times. Alice, maybe not, but I do. We do, right? And when we're stressed, we can be impatient, we can be easily annoyed, and sometimes we just say the wrong thing unintentionally, and we just hurt someone's feelings. Now, here's the interesting thing. The research from the 𝙇𝙤𝙛𝙚 Institute shows that the most successful couples aren't the ones who never have conflict. They're actually the ones who know how to repair from conflict. So that's right. Conflict's not necessarily the problem. It's what happens afterwards that can be the problem. Now, maybe you're one of the rare few people who grew up in a home where you did see repair modeled well after a rupture happened, but most people grew up in a home and they had one of these experiences. They didn't see any rupture, and so they didn't see any repair. Parents had conflicts behind closed doors, and so there was no model for them, usually because one parent always gave in. And some of us saw frequent rupture, no repair. We just had to get over it. And some of us were forced to give apologies to a parent or a family member, or we received apologies that had excuses, and so they were insincere. It wasn't really true remorse. Now, here's the thing. Unless you have intentionally worked on this area, you most likely continue what you've learned in your family of origin growing up. So why does repair matter? Well, if you've ever had a rupture and you've had a good repair, that can actually make a relationship feel stronger.
Yes.
Because you can't know the strength of a relationship until it's actually tested. Because rupture actually shows that we love one another enough to forgive, extend grace, and stay connected despite the flaws that we all have, and whether we can do the same for others. But if you've experienced true repair, there's that deep closeness that comes with it that you know. But without it, that hurt just gets stored and resentment builds, and that usually just comes out in the next conflict. Now, on a recent Club New Life call, we have quarterly calls for Club New Life members. I outlined the 5 A's of a good apology, and these are also in my book. I have a whole chapter on this. And so if you missed it, I'm going to give you the 5 A's here. Right, so here's the first one. The first one is admit. Admit specifically what you did wrong. Don't just say, I'm sorry, and then leave it at that. Say, what it's for. I'm sorry for raising my voice and shutting down. Okay. Number 2 is ask. Ask how your actions impacted the other person. You got to give the other person space to share their hurt. So ask, how did that affect you? Number 3, acknowledge their feelings. Right? Empathy is essential. That shows others that we actually care about how they were hurt. So you can say things like, I understand why you're hurt. That makes sense. Amend if necessary. Sometimes we've got to make something right. I'll make it right by. And then number 5 is accountability. We've got to show that we're going to do better next time. We've got to show that we have a plan. And so when you take ownership, when you listen well, when you commit to a plan and hold yourself accountable, you actually build trust. So ruptures are inevitable. They're part of life. But lack of true apologies and repair signals either we're unwilling to grow, that we think we're beyond correction, or that we're already perfect. So which kind of person are you going to be? Because just like you learned from your family of origin, your kids are now, or one day will be when you have them, watching and learning from you too. So if you missed out on the Club New Life quarterly Zoom call and you're a Club New Life member, you can go and you can watch the replay. And if you're not a Club New Life member, you can become a Club New Life member and you can watch the replay too.
For sure. Alice?
For the record, my son wouldn't talk to me for most of a day, and the comfort circle got us back on track.
Oh,
so
good.
Me too, Marc, me too.
We love that comfort circle. We'll be back with your calls.
Are you ready for the holidays, or are you dreading the holidays? Well, we have a new webinar, and it's called Healthy Holiday Boundaries. The holidays season often brings joy, but it also can bring pressure, guilt, and emotional overwhelm. Healthy Holiday Boundaries is a 90-minute faith-based webinar. You'll learn how to protect your peace, manage expectations, and set healthy limits without guilt. Whether you're facing family tensions, an overcommitted schedule, or emotional fatigue, this webinar will help you reclaim calm and connection. This isn't just information, it's an invitation.
The Healthy Holidays Boundaries webinar is Wednesday evening, December 10th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go online to newlife.com. Experience the freedom Christ offers and discover how to give your best yes and your healthiest no this holiday season. 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are so grateful for our faithful radio audience and Facebook, YouTube viewers, and you who listen on the app. Well, we've also got a podcast. Want to give a shout out to Antonio, a dedicated podcast listener in Portugal. Bom dia, Antonio. Hope I said that right. We love hearing from our international audience. Drop us a line. Let us know where you're listening, and I'll try to say hello in your language. Wish me luck on that one. And no matter where you are in the world, subscribe to New Life Live wherever you get your podcasts. Let's go to the phones now, beginning with Lonnie in Boston, who's watching us on Sirius XM channel 131. Hey, Lonnie, thanks for calling 1-800-229-3000.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. How can we help you?
I just had a question of how to cope daily with a drug-addicted daughter.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more.
I'm raising her grandson.
Her grandson?
She relapsed. My grandson.
Yes.
My grandson. Her son.
Yeah.
Yep. And just how not to be so sad all the time.
Okay. Alice?
Oh, in some ways that's an impossible ask because it breaks your heart every day that your daughter chooses this life. And then you see the suffering in her son as you raise him. And thank you for standing in the gap and being that kind of grandmother that is willing to take on a second raising of children. So how can you not be sad about it? I don't think there's a way to not be sad, but there is a way to handle your grief. There's a saying that grief shared is grief halved. And that means if you're willing to talk regularly with other people, usually a sisterhood, that are willing to hear you, empathize with you without criticizing or giving you unsolicited advice, it's by weeping and lamenting with those loving listeners that helps to lift some of the grief, but it doesn't erase it.
And when you say grief halved, do you mean like cut in half?
That's right.
Yeah, not like I've had grief,
That's
but
right.
like halved in two. Mark, what would you say?
Yeah, Lonnie, I'm so sorry that this is happening. And as Alice said, I think it is impossible to not be sad. Now, you can manage sadness, sure. But this is a grief that you're going through, and it's going to be a grief that your grandson is going to go through too. And so you're going to watch him grieve throughout the time. And my son grew up without his mother too. She left when he was 1. I'm remarried now, and we're in a blended family, my wife and I. But there's different stages that you miss different things from. And so, at first it might be just mom taking me to school, and then later on it's not showing up at a game, or you have mother-son dances and things like that. And so there are going to be these constant reminders that are going to come up, and he's going to be sad at those different times, and you will feel his grief with him. And like Alice is saying, as you comfort him and you empathize with him, his grief will be hopefully halved as you share in that. But it is a difficult thing to go through, especially when somebody is still in touch and you're watching them continue in decline. How old is your grandson?
He's almost 4.
Oh, so young.
Yeah.
And this will be our second Christmas without her. But I've dealt with a parent deceased, and it's like you deal the grief and it goes away. This is like kind of never ending.
Yeah.
That is very hard to go on and be happy, where it just keeps on arising.
Yeah. Go
Lonnie,
ahead.
how exposed are you to your daughter? What's your contact like with her?
Right now, nothing. She's in a psychosis state, and doesn't recall me.
She
at all.
doesn't know you?
She thinks I'm something that I'm not. That could be permanent brain damage.
Oh, wow. So is she in the hospital, or is she being cared for in a home?
She was, but she's refusing all help. So she's right now homeless somewhere.
What does she think you are? Are you willing to say?
Kamala Harris.
Really?
It's very driven, whatever her. Before all this, she was very much into politics, so sometimes talking to doctors, they said they can go into that world in their brain or something.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they're thinking, they can become, if that makes sense.
It does. And she's not contacting you, asking you for help, and she's not trying to see her son?
Not at all. Not at all.
So unfortunately, limiting your exposure to her, which doesn't really apply in your situation right now because she's out of touch with you, but being cautious to limit how much you're exposed to her social media, to any evidence that can pour into your life of the poor decisions she's making, it's one way to protect your heart from too much knowledge of how unhealthy she is. On the other hand, because she sounds like she's mentally disabled, you've probably contacted Adult Protective Services and asked them to find her and evaluate her?
Yep.
Because she could potentially be voluntarily hospitalized, but that usually only happens if she's an extreme danger to herself or someone else in the immediate sense.
They did do that, and then I did that 3 times, and then they released her all 3 times.
Yes.
So yeah, this unfortunately is not new for me. I guess I miss her.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have a therapist, Lonnie? Have you talked this through with someone?
I did. But I'm not going anymore. My husband's really my therapist.
Why did you stop?
Because I guess I wanted a quick fix, and there isn't one for this.
Yeah.
And then I have to give all of my attention to raising him.
I'd ask you to reconsider that decision because you must be drained every day parenting such a young grandson and thinking of your daughter. And although your husband's a great support, I'm glad to hear that, he probably isn't enough. And he can become overwhelmed also hearing too much about what she's doing or how you're feeling. So, of course, keep talking to him. But please reconsider bringing professional help and a group, a New Life Recovery group, back into your circle so that you get fueled and so that you can decompress. And, part of grief is also allowing yourself to be angry with God, with yourself, your husband, with her. And express that anger so that it doesn't become bitterness and poisonous inside of you.
Well, and the reason why you need to learn how to process through your grief is, as I mentioned, you're going to have to help your grandson do it. And I'm going to tell you one mistake that I made when my son was growing up is I didn't really talk about his mom. And this was before as a therapist, was almost 20 years ago now. And so that trained him to not really ask about her. But then he did end up having these moments, like I said, at times where he would say, I miss mommy if something happened. And so I think if I had been more comfortable to, check in with him and talk with him about it, I could have helped him process his feelings that he was having and not train him to think that, it's a taboo subject. And so I think as you learn to process your feelings about this and manage your grief, you'll be better equipped to help him manage his.
I just want to leave you with this, Lonnie, that I've worked with families where the 5th or 6th involuntary hospitalization was the turning point. So you've already gotten to 3. Don't give up that fight because it may become a turning point for her eventually.
We're going to send you a copy of the Life Recovery Workbook for Grief just for calling in today. We'll also put you in touch with a Life Recovery group that you can start attending. And something Lonnie said, the thing about her husband is her therapist, and it's good to have people we can talk to, but like you said, Alice, we don't want to overwhelm that person either, whereas a therapist is trained for these things. And I wonder if that's why sometimes people feel so overwhelmed about things, because people come to them and they're the only sounding board. Where do we draw that line of, we want to be there for other people, especially as Christians. We want to help everybody who God puts in our path. But where do we say, okay, this is enough?
I think Henry Cloud and John Townsend laid this out beautifully in their Boundaries books and their Trust books, that we really need a circle of some 3 to 10 people who are in our intimate inner confidence and with whom we can share life, both so that we can give to them, but also so that we can receive from them. So if you don't have that number of even just 3, you're probably overwhelming your people if you're talking about what's really going on.
Yeah, I mean, we are designed to give comfort to one another, but when you rely on just only one person, that puts a lot of pressure on that one person. And the great thing about a therapist is that, they can give you insight into something in a more objective way, too.
All right, very good. Thank you, Lonnie, for calling in today to New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 is our number, and now we're going to go to Sally in Reading, Pennsylvania, who's watching us on YouTube. So let's wave hi to Sally. Thanks for calling in today.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing well. Grateful that you called in.
Good. Yeah, me too. I'm glad. I got a text, and I felt that was God moving me to call you guys.
Well, thank you so much for following up.
You're the one we wanted to talk to, Sally.
Yes.
What's going on?
Not that we don't want to talk to everybody else, too, so you guys keep calling, too. But go ahead, Sally.
Well, I feel like Job.
Oh.
This year has been something. I had COVID, pneumonia, shingles. My partner has a lump on his neck, and my daughter had an allergy reaction, and she was intubated in the ICU for 3 days. We just had a fire at the end of October that took a life of a young woman, with drugs involved in that, and where it was located, it took out a whole area. And in this area, we have a ministry, like a personal ministry that I felt God put in my heart, where we buy toys all year round. We buy clothing and shoes, sneakers, animal stuff for all our nonprofits and that. And it all went up, a year's worth of work, and it's just ashes. And I have to believe, that God will turn these ashes into something amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. It's just one thing. And then this morning, I woke up at 2:30, and there's bugs. There's bugs in the house that aren't supposed to be here, and it's not good bugs, And it's just one thing after another, and it's like, and I do believe, and I know God's with all of us.
Sally, with this nightmare of a year and loss of life, loss of material possessions that you were going to donate, how can we help you? This is horrific.
Well, I want prayer. I want prayer because I know he's gonna work it out. You know what I mean? Like baby steps. We're gonna start all over again. We reached out to our people that we do donate our Toys for Tots. Our Trinity Lutheran Church, we told them what happened in that, and they're like, oh my gosh, what can we do, and that. So and there's another ministry out there that we work with, Providing Hope, and they just put stuff out, and we just told everybody, if you can donate, not on our behalf, but on our behalf.
People are filling in the gap. And of course you have our prayers. Yeah. That's easy. Do you have a question for us too that we can answer?
I feel like a hamster on a wheel. That's my days. I just feel like I'm getting nowhere and just going in circles. And now with this bug thing going on, I feel frozen. And I don't know how to get out of it. Get out of this hamster. Be productive. I was thinking maybe I need to go out in nature. Get out of the house, kind of thing. I just don't know how to move forward, because it seems like whenever I move forward, now we're going to go back how many steps, you know?
I'd have you think about how well you rest and what things you do to fill up your tank. You remind me of the prophet who God put out into the desert spa, and the ravens came and brought him food, and he was told to sleep. I think an angel cooked a meal for him as well, and then he slept again. That when you have been through this kind of a year-long battle, your body needs to recharge. So I want to talk with you about that. We want to talk with you about that after the break, of how you can replenish your body.
Sally might even be thinking, rest? Are you kidding me? There's no time to rest.
Sure.
I take a nap, I go to sleep, I wake up, there's bugs all over the place. See what happens when I rest? And that's how we feel sometimes.
Yes.
So we just got to keep on going. Sally, stay on hold. We'll talk to you when we come back here on New Life Live.
My husband addicted to pornography for the majority of our marriage. I was very isolated and didn't really know which way to turn.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
I went to the Restore conference, which seemed to be the missing puzzle piece where I was able to find my voice.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we are not stuck because someone else made a decision. God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, March 6th to the 8th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
I'm navigating my world now. It feels so wonderful.
I've had a great experience at Restore.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go back to Sally, who's watching us on YouTube in Pennsylvania. So, Sally, how much do you rest every day?
Barely, like 7 hours, I guess. 7 hours. Not enough, obviously. But I can't shut off my brain either. You know what I mean? It's constantly going and thinking, and I think I do have some form of, like ADHD, OCD, like that kind of thing, because my daughter is on the autism spectrum. So I think she gets it from me. It's just hard to wind down with, just being overwhelmed, and just, if it's not one thing, it's something else. And I know, it's the D word. I listen to a lot of like scripture-driven thing, and I know God will do His work because He does it. He does it for us each and every day. And I see little things, and I know, like He gives me discounts, so then I can get some toys. I can get some stuff really cheap, so that we can turn that into our local community, which is amazing when He does that.
Yeah. What would you guys say to Sally?
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that too, Sally. It sounds like even the rest that you're getting is not good rest. It's interrupted, and it can be, somewhat of a blessing and a curse to have an overactive mind. You can be very creative, but then at the same time, when struggles come, you can end up ruminating on it and not being able to shut that down, and then that can interrupt rest. And so that is difficult. I do find that if you can have somebody to kind of talk things out to, or with, that can help your mind get at rest too. So having, a therapist, as we were talking to the last caller about, or just even having friends around who you can share with, and even just sharing hard stuff. God's not afraid of our anger and our frustration and our sadness. In fact, there's a whole book in the Bible called Lamentations, which is all about people lamenting about, the situation that they've been in. Even, some of the Psalms with David too. There's a lot of like, why God, why? And I think there's a place for that. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're questioning, who God is in the universe, but we're just questioning in a healthy way, the fallen nature of this world and the struggles that we have. And I think that's kind of part of the journey that we go through to getting to healing, is to be able to ask those questions of why. And sometimes we get answers and sometimes we don't. And we learn how to sit in the discomfort and the uncomfortable, and how do I accept the things that I can't change. Do you have people around you who you can share with vulnerably, just like that?
Unfortunately, not really.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Well,
I feel like an island.
I bet you're good at giving, and you're probably pretty self-sufficient, hardworking.
I love giving.
And so you're not accustomed to receiving. And so I'm not surprised that you're somewhat isolated. This may be a season in which God is asking you to become a receiver, which will be very foreign for you. But it's as if your body has gone through a surgery and it's trying to recover, and 7 hours is not enough. The trauma of this year has been like an invasive surgery to your soul. And so to open yourself up to a group, to individual counseling, to get that soul ministered to is really worth your while, so that you can get back out there and keep giving and serving. I'd ask you to consider medication. If you're not taking any medication, a season of taking an antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication. I've even found sleep medication or sleep herbal supplements to be so helpful when your mind is too busy. So please talk with your psychiatrist, with your primary care provider about that.
Well, and I think an area of growth for you too, Sally, is balance. I mean, healthy relationships have balance. People, if we are emotionally healthy inside, we are good givers, but we're also good receivers too. And when you are a giver, and I'm sure there's many other people who are listening, you will eventually burn out. Yes. And then you will find that your relationships you've surrounded yourself with are people usually who are going to take from you, not because they're selfish people, but just because they know that you're someone who they can go to, and then you don't have others around you who you can then share the burden with. So I encourage you to explore that as an area of growth. And I bet that giving nature is probably linked to a childhood wound that you grew up with and you were trained that way.
Sally, thanks for calling in today. We're going to send you a copy of How You Think Determines the Course of Your Life by our friend Laura Mangan McDonald. So stay on hold and we'll put that in the mail to you. And yeah, keep Sally in your prayers. Also our previous caller, Lonnie. It's crazy how these things happen. Sally gave us a list of all these things she's going through. Have you guys ever had times like that when you can probably name stuff you haven't gone through, but you're afraid to name that because you're afraid that'll fall apart too? But man, it's tough out there for some people.
Yeah, we had a really difficult year last year. My wife and I had a heart problem. She went through breast cancer, and so it just felt like there was just a lot there, and there was other stuff going on that I won't go into all of those details. But one thing that I really appreciate about my wife is she was 40 years old at the time. And she saw something online that talked about, how the number 40 in the Bible usually is about struggle. And so she held on to, okay, but day 41 is coming, right? The rain is going to stop. Jesus was tempted for 40 days and then the devil left. And if you look at scripture, there's a whole lot around that number. And so she held on to, my year of 41 is coming. So it's coming. It will get there.
Sally's doing that admirably well too, saying, I know God's doing something. I know he is showing up. And holding on to the promise that what the devil means for harm, or people mean for harm, God will use for good. That is true.
Very true. All right. Got more phone calls coming up. We're going to be in the studio for 2 hours today. So if you're not already on hold, call in. We'd love to hear from you. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube right now or listening on the New Life app, call in. 1-800-229-3000. We'll be back.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Thanksgiving is 10 days away. Christmas is 38 or 39. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Says who? Says some of you. Hey, I get it. A couple of weeks ago when I flipped the calendar page to November, I thought, here we go again. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you get overwhelmed by family expectations, overcommitment, or emotional pressure during the holidays, make plans now to join us for an online webinar. Wednesday night, December 10th at 7 p.m. Central Time. We're calling it the Healthy Holiday Boundaries Webinar. It's hosted by New Life President Becky Brown and presented by licensed marriage and family therapist Eric Thomas. It's less than $20 for this 90-minute webinar that includes 30 minutes of Q&A. You don't have to buy us a gift or bake us cookies. I can't believe I just turned down cookies. You can find out more by calling 1-800-229-3000 or at newlife.com. Again, it's called the Healthy Holiday Boundaries Webinar. Let's go back to the phones. Here is Joan in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Speaking of Christmas, Bethlehem. Joan listens on New Life app, on the New Life app, I should say. Hi there, Joan. Thanks for calling in today.
Hi. Oh, thank you so much. I just love you guys.
Thank you.
You guys are just
so cheerful. She's already on the holiday spirit. This is great.
Yes, I am. Oh, you guys are just the best. I love you so much.
Thank you,
so
Joan.
very much.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I do try to donate when I can.
We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. So I just had two I hope they're little questions, but one was I love when you guys talk about the comfort circle. I'd like you to elaborate on that. And also, Dr. Alice, when you talk about you're so open with the emotional infidelity, it's not occurring. I'm married, and my marriages were great. Me and my husband are really good. But I've seen it happen. I believe it happened in my family of origin in the past. And I know some people, friends, acquaintances that you know, they say, well, I have this guy, well, we're friends, we're just friends, we talk, oh yeah, we're just friends. And it always seems to me like it either goes one way or another. So I don't know, it's a little muddled to me, but Dr. Alice, you're very clear about it.
I had
to learn the hard way, as you know, unfortunately,
when I started to contact ex-boyfriends through social media. And I also acted like, well, we're just friends. And maybe I believed that on some level, but I eventually was convicted that no, this is more. I'm getting some emotional hit out of this relationship. My husband even knew about it. And he said, I trust you. And eventually I realized you shouldn't trust me and I can't trust me because I think marriages don't work well when one person has an opposite sex friend that is an individual friend and not a friend of the couple. And I even think contact with exes on social media, it's a landmine. And because there was romance there previously, it is so likely to come up again eventually. And so if we really want to safeguard our marriages, we really shouldn't have opposite sex friends that are not friends of the couple and become group friends.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. That is so true. And I think a lot of people overlook that.
Have you read the How We Love book?
I have not, no.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll put that in the mail, too.
Yeah, I mean, I love that you're asking this question about the comfort circle, and there's probably people who are wondering, what does that sound like? 'Cause it sounds really good, and it is really good, the comfort circle. The comfort circle is a structured listener-speaker exercise where instead of, arguing back and forth like most people do, you just kind of split the time down the middle, and one person takes the listener role and allows the other person to be the speaker. And you enter into the other person's perspective. You put all of your stuff to the side and you just listen, and you listen for understanding rather than for agreement. And as we learn to do that, you will see the other person, the speaker ends up settling down when they see that you're engaged, you're leaning in, especially when you can make empathy and validation statements, and you draw them out. And when you can go even deeper and you can ask about how did you feel about that? Even if we don't agree with their perspective or the way things, they believe turned out, we can still empathize with those emotions, and they're more likely to listen to us if we do that. And the comfort circle is a function and also proof of secure attachment. But if you're not securely attached, you've got to practice what you want to become. And so as you learn to continually put yourself into the comfort circle role, especially into a listener role, there are skills to learn in the speaker role too. There's a way that we can speak to keep someone else engaged in the conversation if we're not blaming and criticizing and yelling. But as you learn to do that and you practice that, we get good at whatever we practice. It's called neural pathway building, and we become more that way. So it's just a fantastic tool, and Alice is like the champion of it.
Mark and I arm wrestle for who's the number one fan of the comfort circle. I think I'm winning.
She might be by one or just a half, something like that. It's really close.
You had a cold that day.
It's close. Yes, yeah.
I would add this description that the comfort circle is one of the safest, simplest ways to have difficult, emotionally charged conversations while protecting the relationship. And the point of it is to come to understanding rather than correcting or getting the other person to agree with what we have said. It's all about coming to understanding through curiosity. One of the most helpful ways I use it is when I am accused of something I don't think I did, or my clients are, because it helps to hold my tongue. Somebody once said to me, you're not safe to talk to alone, and I won't talk with you without my husband there. It was actually a family member. And that was a very, very tough statement to take. But because I was willing to stay with the comfort circle and just say, oh, tell me more. Oh, would you give me an example of when I wasn't safe for you? And I sought to understand where that could come from. There was both truth to it. I had done some things that were unsafe to that person. And there was history there that had nothing to do with me. And the comfort circle helps us to divide that up and to be able to receive tough information about ourselves.
But it helps us heal too, because, it sounds easy what we're saying, but it's so difficult to do.
Because it's so countercultural. It is so, we're not used to it. We've been alive for fill in the blank, however old you are. And it's how we've always done arguments. Like if somebody's arguing with me, it's hard for me to get, I have to give you a full 2, 3, 4 minutes without interruption? That's not possible.
Well, it's counterculture to your family culture. Right? And so it seems like very counterintuitive to what we want to do. Like, oh, you're blaming? No, let me explain to you what I did. Let me tell you what you did to me. And so the learning to be in the comfort circle, to be in the listener role, helps you learn and manage suppressing that reactivity. And then, if you get a chance to be in the speaker role, which hopefully you do, it helps you tap into, well, what emotions was I feeling in that moment, and where did that come from? And then you grow and you become less reactive.
Intuitive. That was the word I was looking for.
But it is countercultural. Like, you are correct. Countercultural to your family culture, because we learn about relationships in our families of origin, the families that we grow up in, and we repeat. Even if we don't like it, I've had countless people say this, I really didn't like how my parents did this. And I said, I'm not going to do that. And then I went ahead and I did it. And I do that now in adulthood as a parent, and I don't like that. And why did I do that? And you do it because that's what you learned. Even if you don't like what you learned, you're going to repeat what you've learned.
This may seem like a silly question, but it's not. Why is it called the Why is she laughing? She's already laughing at me. Why is it called the comfort circle and not like the comfort square or comfort triangle? No. I mean, like, I'm sure there's a reason why they came up with comfort circle.
But or maybe there isn't. I mean, and honestly, it's more uncomfortable as you first try and do it. It is. It really is. It's the discomfort circle at first. But the reason being is because you want to get around to resolution, right? You hear someone out, and then they kind of feel resolved. And as you offer to meet their needs or they feel comforted, the relationship returns back to a place of closeness again.
Yeah, it closes the loop of the conversation in a healing way.
Yeah.
Plus, I would think, too, I just thought of it right now, with a triangle, a square,
They're a little bit, those are edgy.
Yes, you can get
edgy,
put in the
pointy
corner, and all of a sudden
shapes.
you feel like
we don't want edgy, pointy shapes.
You don't want that,
no.
Yes. So
smooth round.
I think that's it, yes. No. The comfort circle.
Could be the comfort oblong, too. But circle sounds better.
The comfort oval. No, I don't know. Anyway, okay, Joan, we're going to send you a copy of How We Love from the newlife.com store. And we also encourage you and everyone else to get a copy of Marc Cameron's book. This guy wrote a book. Yes, it comes out in 15 days. It's not out yet, but you can pre-order it now at newlife.com. It's called Understanding Your Attachment Style. So check that out
and
at newlife.com.
And it's significantly cheaper at New Life, just saying.
Just saying. Oh, okay.
I don't sell the book, but I'm just saying. I just noticed that.
Nice. All right. So, Joan, thank you so much for your phone call today, and thank you for listening on the New Life app in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, that little town of Bethlehem. We don't know. It might be a little town. I know the other one is a little town. I'm assuming the one in Pennsylvania is too. I'm going around in circles right now. So let's take a break. We'll be back in just a little bit here on New Life Live. My name is Brian Perez, here with Marc Cameron and Dr. Alice Benton. We're going to be in the studio for a whole nother hour today, so call in to 1-800-229-3000. I'm sure there's something you're going through that maybe you're not sure how to, it's that thing that keeps you up at night or maybe wakes you up early in the morning. We can talk about it here on New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 is the number. Maybe you spoke with someone at church this weekend. Tell them to call in. We're here for them. We're here for you at New Life Live. We'll be right back.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to Intimacy and Marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is February 13th to the 15th in Orange County, California. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the code NLL for a discount. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His
his.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
When you give to New Life, your support helps us reach real people like Sue, who shared, "I have no idea where my marriage or my state of mind would be without the past and present help of New Life." We meet people in whatever they're facing and help them connect with help and hope. And now the impact of your giving goes twice as far with our $475,000 matching gift. Please do what you can. Just like Joan said earlier, she gives a little bit here and there, and that's great. Right now would be awesome because of this matching gift. You can give online at newlife.com/match or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text the word match to 28950. Thank you for whatever you can do. 1-800-229-3000 is our number to call us in the studio if you'd like some help from Dr. Alice Benton or Marc Cameron. And we're going to be here for another hour after this hour is complete. Let's talk to Rosie, who listens to us on KKLA in West Covina, California. Welcome, Rosie, to New Life Live.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I was calling to see if I can get some suggestions on how to relax when doing like scans, like MRIs, brain scans, CAT scans. Last time they gave me anti-anxiety, and I still had a panic attack, and I was trying to get a brain scan. And I just figured, I mean, with technology nowadays, that it would be so much easier to, help people with anxiety to do these scans. Because I do want to do body scans and things. I want to be, more proactive with my health. I've had a long history of anxiety, and I'm trying my best to, I want to get back to work. I need to bring in income in because I've been on disability for quite a while, and I want to get back into the workforce. And I do struggle a lot with anxiety in driving independently. I know there's Uber nowadays, but even getting into an Uber car, I get anxious because, lack of trust. I don't even know the person driving behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And when I used to go to therapy, people in the group were Uber drivers, and listening to their stories, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I would never get in the car with them.
Oh.
Some of them were really bad, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they drive.
This is interesting, Rosie, because it's not just about MRIs, but just about a lot of different things. What would you guys suggest to Rosie?
Yeah.
Do you have a medical problem, Rosie, that you've got to get multiple MRIs or regular MRIs?
Not at this time. I do want to get back into doing physicals, and last time I was trying to get a brain scan, and it was really, really, I struggled a lot, and so I do want to get some things checked out, and it always comes down to, having to do a scan, and it just brings a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, well, anxiety is fear-based, and fear is learned. Do you have any idea where you first experienced these types of anxieties? Was there a significant event, or was there a time in your life where you noticed, like, oh, I'm starting to feel anxious about different things?
Well, I was in an abusive marriage, and he was very controlling, and I had abuse in my upbringing as well.
Right.
I did try at one point getting on medication. I think the best time I was able to be very productive when they had put me on Paxil like years ago, and then I started gaining a lot of weight. Then I heard it wasn't good to take, so I had gone off of that, and then just started getting into supplements like Dr. 𝙇𝙞𝙀 had recommended GABA. I started that, and that helped me a lot, but still not enough to make me a productive person. Like the way I want, the level that I want to be at.
Yeah, and medication is good to kind of prop us up in different moments, but I I'd want to encourage you to look at the roots of where the anxiety comes from.
Yeah.
Have you processed through those abusive relationships growing up and the marriage?
Yes, I've done a lot of therapy, a lot of talk therapy.
Have you ever done EMDR? Stands for eye movement desensitization
Yeah.
reprocessing. You have?
Actually, yeah, I had spoke with Sherry about that.
Sherry Keffa?
So yes.
Okay.
And I wanted to. This was a while back, a couple of years ago, and I wanted to get into EMDR. So that's one thing that I do have on my goal list. And thanks for reminding me about that, because I kind of forgot about that.
It's such a good therapy, EMDR, because, you know, as I said, fear is a learned trait. It's linked to some kind of memory, and EMDR is designed to desensitize us. And the way that it works, of course, there's a technique that that the therapist uses, but your brain goes back and it revisits these places, these experiences, and you actually form new memories, because when we remember, we don't remember the actual original event. We remember the last time that we remembered. And so when you can pull up these memories in a safe environment in the room, in the office of your therapist, and as the therapist is doing the bilateral stimulation, which is what EMDR does, and you do those techniques, your brain actually learns how to heal. And it can be just so effective. In just a few sessions, it can really desensitize you a lot more than medication can. Now, I'm not putting down medication. I think both have a place. But what I'm saying is, if you can learn to work on the root of it, you may not need the medication later on to kind of prop you up. But sometimes we need the medication just to kind of get us there, right, to start to get us through daily life. So medication can help us do that. But when you work on the root of something, you really work on the long-term healing. So I encourage you to check out EMDR.
Rosie, I agreed with what Mark said, and I just want to honor your desire to get back into a more active life when you're up against a lot, not just the abuse, but the disability as well that you're dealing with. So you're a brave woman, and you're tough, and you're going for it again.
Thank you.
There's another form of therapy called systematic desensitization, where you practice with a therapist getting closer and closer to the object of your fear while doing relaxation, learning how to talk yourself down and talk yourself through difficulties. It's used to help people who are afraid to drive. It's used to help people afraid to get on an airplane. Anything you're afraid of, you can use systematic desensitization for. Please also consider having a really safe buddy come with you to these frightening appointments. It's such a way to get grace and courage to have someone who loves you there. And if you don't have someone who fits that description, then getting back into your therapy and your group work. You had some negative experiences in group before, and so I could understand why that's behind you. And you said, I did a lot of therapy. I would suggest you haven't done enough if the heightened emotion is so strong, it's keeping you from living the life that you want to. It took me over 7 groups, testing out different groups, to find a safe group of women that can be my sisters. But I really needed to persevere through some funky groups, some unhelpful groups. So don't give up on that search. And the last thing I want to say is, I suspect you have some really high expectations for yourself. It is curious that you're going for a brain scan when you don't necessarily have a medical problem that's necessitating it. So I can appreciate that you want to go strong and big and go for that thing that will give you answers and help you. But maybe check those expectations to go with the next right level of treatment first, like getting in for that physical you mentioned is a good goal. Maybe the brain scan can wait until you've received enough support and help to get to the little things and then work your way to the bigger things.
Rosie, we're going to send you a copy of 100 Days to Freedom from Fear and Anxiety from the newlife.com store, so stay on hold. We'll get your information and put that in the mail to you. All right, we're going to be in the studio for another hour. If you're on hold right now, stay on hold. We'll get to you first, but we're going to keep the studio lines open at 1-800-229-3000. If there's something that's eating at you, something that you want to talk about with Marc Cameron and Dr. Alice Benton, go ahead and give us a call. Tell your friends to call in as as well, like I mentioned earlier, the friends who are going through things that might need some expert advice. Well, we've got some experts here in the studio for the next hour at 1-800-229-3000. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you soon on New Life Live.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.